Hello students, I am Snehal Hegiste, Associate Professor in English. I welcome you in the class of BA Part 2 Optional English. After completing your FYBA, you are now in SYBA. You have offered English as optional subject, and for this paper, you have to study two papers. And first paper, that is numbered as a paper number 3, and name of this paper is Literature and Cinema. For semester 3 you are going to study this paper, and syllabus for this paper is prescribed by university, and you are going to discuss Comedy of Errors by Shakespeare and adaptation of Comedy of Errors as Angur, that is directed by Gulzar in 1982. Name of this paper is Literature and Cinema. So this paper covers 4 modules. First module is Theories of Adaptation. Module number 2 talks about adaptation as interpretation. Module number 3 discusses William Shakespeare's Comedy of Errors and its adaptation Angur, and same topic is continued in module number 4. University has introduced this paper, and it has decided certain objectives for this course. So course objectives are to introduce film and its relationship to literature to the students. So there is a relationship between film and literature. To acquire film literacy through a working knowledge of basic film terminology. This is the second objective of this paper. Then to develop critical approaches to engage with film adaptations. So as a student of literature, you have to develop critical approaches, critical analysis of the films that are adapted from novels or stories. Then fourth one is to establish a clear understanding of literature through film adaptations of literary texts. And last one is to introduce the students the issues and practices of cinematic adaptations. So we are living in a world of science and technology, and in India you find we have a cine industry which produces so many movies. Particularly we can say Bollywood, Hindi cinemas are made immensely in India. So in this paper you are going to study relationship between literature and cinema. And for semester 3, university has prescribed William Shakespeare's Comedy of Errors and its adaptation Angur. Before discussing theory of adaptation, I want to introduce you William Shakespeare's Comedy of Errors. Then we will watch cinema Angur. We will compare these, particularly drama with cinema. Further we can discuss adaptation, theories of adaptation, and adaptation as a interpretation. What is meant by adaptation? Adaptation is derived from the Latin word adapture. It means to fit in. So in the process of adaptation, something is adapted, changed, and presented in another form. So from drama to film, so its form is changed. Comedy of Errors is a drama. It is transformed into film as a Angur. So this process is called adaptation. So you adopt, you change, and you present it in another form. The adopted thing is particularly modified to suit new conditions. There are certain changes from drama to film. So, after discussing these two genres, that one of a film and drama, we can compare and contrast, and we can discuss theories of adaptation. So, first of all, I want to introduce you Comedy of Errors. Comedy of Errors is written by William Shakespeare. It is considered as his one of the earliest written plays. It is also the shortest and one of his most simple comedies. It engages audience in puns, pranks, so it has created a lot of humor. The Comedy of Errors follows Aristotle's classical unities of time, place, and action. And this is the only play of the dramatist where the spectator know in advance what they are going to see. The play has been adapted for opera, for stage screen, and musical theater numerous times worldwide throughout the world. So this play again is a modernized adaptation of Menachmi by Plautus, from where Shakespeare lifted the story of the two Antipoleses. So Shakespeare has adapted this drama, the Comedy of Errors, or story of the Comedy of Errors, from Menachmi by Plautus. So this original story is of a two Antipoleses. For the addition of the twin Dromios, he is indebted to Amphitryon from the same author, Plautus. Charles Whitworth argues that the Comedy of Errors was written in the latter part of 1594. So, Shakespeare has also adopted this particular story of Comedy of Errors by Plautus. So, unity of time, place, and manner of Aristotle is observed in this particular drama. It has been adapted for opera stage, we have discussed, for musical theatre. What is the setting of this drama? Set in the Greek city of Ephesus. The action of this particular play takes place in a Greek city of Ephesus. The Comedy of Errors tells the story of two sets of, keep in mind, two sets of identical twins who were accidentally separated at birth. Antipholus of Syracuse and his servant Dromio of Syracuse, they arrive in Ephesus, which turns out to be the home of their twin brothers. Antipholus and families of their twins, a series of wild mishaps based on mistaken identities lead to wrongful beatings, a near seduction. So, in this particular drama, we find that there are two sets of twins, and these twins are by appearance identical. Okay, and they are separated at birth without their knowledge. In this drama, we find there are important characters. First one is a Solinus. Solinus is a duke of Ephesus. Then there is a character of Aegean. He is a merchant of Syracuse and father of the Antipholus twins. So character of Aegean is very important. He is the father of Antipholus twins. Emilia is Antipholus' lost mother and she is the wife of Aegean. Antipholus of Ephesus and Antipholus of Syracuse, these are the twin brothers and they are sons of Aegean and Emilia. So keep in mind there are two important characters, Antipholus of Ephesus and Antipholus of Syracuse, who are actually twin brothers. And what are the names of their father and mother? Aegean and Emilia. Next, Dromio of Ephesus and Dromio of Syracuse. They are twin brothers, bondmen, each serving his respective Antipholus. Adriana is the wife of Antipholus of Ephesus. Luciana is Adriana's sister. Nell Luce is a kitchen wench. Wench means here what? Female. She is a maid to Adriana. Then there is a character of Balthazar. Balthazar is a merchant. Then there is a character of goldsmith. His name is Angelio. Then there is a character of courtesan. First merchant who is the friend of Antipholus of Syracuse. Second merchant to whom Angelio is in debt. Dr. Pinch. Then gaoler, headsman, officers and other attendants. So these are the names of the characters that we find in Comedy of Errors. So important characters are Aegean, Emilia, and their twin sons Antipholus of Ephesus and Antipholus of Syracuse. This is the first twins. Then second one, there are two sets of the twins. First set covers which characters here? Antipholus of Ephesus and Antipholus of Syracuse. Second set of the twin, Dromio of Ephesus and Dromio of Syracuse. So these are the important characters. Further, Adriana's character is also very important. Luciana's character is very important. The goldsmith, merchant, they also play very important role in the play. So the play is modernized adaptation of Menachmi by Plautus. So there are the characters in this play are we discuss here. There are two sets of twins who are by appearance identical. They are twins and it is natural they are identical. They were separated. What is the story? At the beginning of this drama, we find that these twins are separated at birth without their knowledge. Antipholus of Ephesus and Antipholus of Syracuse are one set of separated twin brothers, born of Aegean and Emilia. We find that who are the father and mother of these twin brothers? Father is Aegean and mother is Emilia. Their servants are Dromio of Ephesus and Dromio of Syracuse, twin brothers that each serve their respective Antipholus and are unaware of other who exists. The play opens. At the beginning of the play, we find that there is the arrest of Aegean in act number 1. What happens? because a law forbids merchants from Syracuse to enter Ephesus. Elderly Syracusan trader. What is the name of that trader? Aegean faces execution when he is discovered in the city. So at the beginning of this drama, when this drama or play opens with arrest of Aegean. Who is Aegean? Aegean is a man of Syracuse who has entered the enemy state of Ephesus. Solinus, the Duke of Ephesus, asked him to tell why and how he reached the state. So, what happens here? Aegean tells his story. In the first act, we find that is Aegean is in the state of his enemy. Okay, he is in the state of his enemy, and name of that state is Ephesus. This Solinus is the Duke of Ephesus, and he asks how he reached the state. At that time, Aegean tells his story of his separation with his family 25 years ago. So it is the past life of Aegean. His twin sons, both named Antipholus and another adopted twin, both named Dromio, were separated when their ship was caught in a storm and sank. So there is a mishap at the beginning of the play, and these twins are separated. When his son Antipholus learned from him this sad story, he set out with his slave in search of their twin brothers, but did not return. So, what has happened there? The second son, who is in search of his brother, has not returned. After 5 years, he set out in their search and reached Ephesus, unaware that he is in the enemy state. After 5 years, who has set out? Aegean has set out in search of his son in the state, and he is unaware that he is in the state of enemy. At that time, Duke of Solinus grants Aegean one further day to pay the fine for entering the city. So he has to pay fine because he is in the state of enemy. At that time, what happens that on that same day, Aegean's Antipholus arrives there. He gives Dromio some money to book an inn, but then runs into the other Dromio and believes his own servant. That same day, what happens that Antipholus arrives in Ephesus searching for his brother. He sends his Dromio to deposit some money at the Centaur. What is the Centaur? Is the name of a inn, or we can say lodge, where they stay. He is confounded when the identical Dromio of Ephesus appears almost immediately. He gives Dromio some money to book an inn, but then runs into the other Dromio and believes his own servant is trying to make a fool of him. A series of further confusions take place with everyone's identities that make the Ephesian Antipholus' wife insecure and all parties very confused. Both Dromios are beaten for insubordination, and the Ephesus Antipholus and Dromio think they are plagued by witchcraft. Antipholus from Ephesus is denied entry back to his home. At the same time, his brother is inside the house falling in love with his sister of his brother's wife. The Antipholus of Syracuse and Dromio of Syracuse are greatly disturbed by all the complications and decide to leave Ephesus. They thought that this particular place is plagued by witchcraft. The Antipholus of Syracuse and Dromio of Syracuse are disturbed by all these complications and they decide to leave Ephesus. On their way to make travel plans, several other incidents of mistaken identity occur. At the end, Antipholus of Ephesus was jailed for refusing to pay bill, and this mistaken identity continues until the abbess of Ephesus finally introduces both sets of twins. Citizens of Ephesus are relieved to begin to comprehend the confusion from the two sets of twins, and everyone is united. Thus, the family reunion takes place where even the father and mother of the two twins meet, and Eugene is not saved but allowed to stay as a citizen of the state. Thus, the comedy of errors is full of humor. This humor is created by the mistaken identity. The situation where both twins come together and still remain separated by the compound wall is most funny and creative situation in the play. Shakespeare has made effective use of situational as well as verbal humor in the play to produce laughter among the spectators. The play belongs to Shakespeare's apprenticeship period. It is his early period. It lacks complications and depth in plot structure. Its characters do not develop as they do in the other plays of the Shakespeare. Its blank verse is simple with end stops. It shows the dramatist's attempt to please and entertain the spectators. So this is the outline of the story of Comedy of Errors. And with the help of these particularly 5 acts, we have this material that shows you 5 acts covering at the end we find that the courtesan resolves to tell Adriana that her husband is insane, and this Dromio of Ephesus returns to the arrested Antipholus of Ephesus. This comedy of errors. Errors means what here? Mistaken identity. The humor that is created out of mistaken identity is the main source of the laughter that is created by dramatist. So we have discussed the outline or plot structure of this particular uh, play Comedy of Errors, which covers 5 acts. And on this particular film, what has happened that Gulzar has made a film Angur. After this particular drama, we will discuss film Angur. We can review the film Angur, then we can watch this film and we can compare and contrast, or we can show what are the similarities and what are the differences, how there are changes from one genre to another, from play to film, how this particular travel takes place, that we have to study. In the next period, we will discuss, in the next lecture, we will discuss second part of this particular unit module. Thank you.